This video captures a raw and uncensored session with Codenvy while trying to complete the first part of the Nutscape and Exploder Challenge project given in session 3. The project starts with a factory link that you're going to need to use in order to replicate the Nutscape and Exploder Challenge in Codenvy. I'm currently using Firefox, although the session instructions tell you to use Chrome. Doesn't really matter. So here I am creating the environment. I copy it to my workspace. Back and I see that the next step is to follow the instructions to initialize a Git repository. Instructions are pretty short, really. All you need to do is go to the Git menu and initialize a repository. Okay. I know that it's successful because I get this message here, but I also see the nice little cylinders here on the left that tell me that Git is now taking care of version control for all my files. Okay, we have the app runner that we're supposed to run, so let's go ahead and do that. Get a nice link. Opens up in a separate tab. Okay, and then we have the challenge stated here. Good. And then we're supposed to open the mirror copy of Netscape's homepage, netscape.html, and use the validator on it. Okay, so from here I can pull up the validator. There's a gear icon that we use to do this in Chrome, but we have a nice toolbar directly in Firefox. We run it, we get 25 errors and 5 warnings, just as the assignment says. Okay. Now let's repeat the exercise again for the HTML5 version of the file. As you see, the app runner is still running. That's good. It crashes a lot though. Alright, let's do it. Here's the same file. And this time I get 44 errors and 3 warnings. So it was making some assumptions before when it was validating the original file. Just by adding the little bit that we did to make this a check for HTML5, we actually get more errors. Okay. Alright. So here we are. Let's see what we have to do next. We're going to revise this HTML5 file so that it complies with standards. I guess we need to go through what some of those errors were that came up. Let's go back and do that again. No character encoding. Alright. Yeah. Something about base font, it's not allowed. Something about an alt tag an alt attribute that's missing. Font is obsolete, so we got a bunch of them in there, I think. I see some align attributes. It says that those are now obsolete. Okay. And more font stuff. Oh boy. Align is more of that. Oh, the width attribute is obsolete too. Okay, so I'll have to check that out. There's some sort of a stray end tag for some sort of unordered list. A bunch of more HR problems. Looks like if I just fix the HRs, I'll solve a lot of this. Alright. A center tag is not allowed anymore as part of this in this context. It's actually been deprecated. You really shouldn't be using center tags. I think Google's about the only one who still uses it anywhere significant. Yeah. And then it got to the end and there were a bunch of open elements that need to be closed, including at least one open definition list. Alright. Too much for the discussion. Okay, so now we're going to need to fix all these things. We'll start by giving the document some proper structure. We open up in our editor and we take a peek to see what we got. Well, we're going to need an HTML. I'm going to do all my typing in lowercase letters so that I know what I typed versus what is original. Oh boy. Must be a lot still open. Gotta get used to that. So it didn't even get, you see how the highlighting is turned off for the body in the HTML? That's telling us that there was so much still open that it didn't think that it was possible to close the document. So it looks like we got a lot of work to do up there at the top of the file. Alright, just to make things a little bit easier for me to see what's going on, I'm going to format this. This should provide a little bit more structure. I can see what's inside of what, and it's kind of messed up. Look at that. So clearly it's misunderstanding some of what we're trying to do. Alright, we've added this, we've put the title tag inside the head. Now let's eliminate all the obsolete tags and attributes that are in there. So all those fonts, centers, and base fonts should be gone. Let's do that first. Alright, I see a font tag here. Bye-bye font. I wish there were a quicker way to do this. It probably is. Alright, here's some more. I think they did all this mess in here just so that they could get bigger first, big caps on these things. What a mess. Okay. Some more font stuff. Are gone. I think I saw some centers though. Yeah, all these places where I see HR align, center, and width, I got to take them out. In fact, there was something else that was in there. It said, all the repeated HR tags, we need to take them out too. So I'll go ahead and take out the align and size from all the HRs and then all the repeats. So I only need one HR, which is that one here. Okay, I'll take that out. And then the center needs to disappear. There we go. Now that looks weird. I got an H2 that starts here with an HR. It's a horizontal rule in the middle. That doesn't make any sense. Let's move that above. Alright, so now, how does that look? A lot of these things, look at that. Base font, that I know is gone. Still looks kind of weird, but okay. See how I did. Fonts, centers, base font, align and size are gone. So the bold tag should be taken out as well. I think that's it. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to give some meanings to the headings. I'm going to replace all those places we had headings with H1s instead. H1, H2. So it's welcome to Netscape. Wrap that around it. Here's the getting started. We're supposed to put H2s around that. Good. Alright, so now let's run the validator on it again. This was warned that this might happen, that the app runner might fail, so let's restart the app runner. Stop it, and then restart it. Get a new link. Saved my work. Yep, 5 errors. Very good. So that's much better. So let's first deal with the character encoding, then we're going to deal with the alt tag, we'll deal with these ULs and DLs, and then see if we can't do something about all those open elements. Okay. Here's the character encoding. you can repeat the validation without reloading. It's kind of cool. Alright, so yep, that one's gone. So now I got to deal with the alt tag. Where's my image? There it is. So let's stick an alt in there. Okay. Very good. Down to 3 errors. Awesome. Okay. And these have to do with the ULDL thing. Okay. So it says the stray UL end tag is an artifact left behind from an old version of the page. Let's see what they're talking about. So here we are. Here's the definition list. There it is, right there. So what happens if I just change that to a DL? Wow, that fixed everything, right? Well, let's clean up the document and see what we got left. We're not anywhere near done. You can tell just by looking at this that something's not right. Things aren't closing, because what it does is every time you open up some sort of a new element, until you close it, any new elements that come along, it assumes are inside. You see how this thing just kind of drifts off to the right, the indentation? That's because we haven't closed anything. We really need to close some stuff. Let's see how we do that. So here's all those end tags. Oh, okay. So in the old days, see this P tag here? It was actually used as a paragraph break, kind of like a page break. And so it marked the end of a paragraph rather than the beginning. And here they're using it to mark the end of this DD, or data list definition element here. So the other thing, they didn't close these DTs, that's definition term elements here. So let's see how we do that. If I start typing, it magically, if I start typing, the bracket and then the slash, it'll complete whatever's the most recent open tag. This P doesn't belong here. I'm going to replace it with an N for that. Oh, this looks like it's going to be pretty quick. exposure is fixed. Ooh. Well, that looks much better. Oh yeah. Alright, so what I like to do whenever I do anything like a list is I always like to have strong beginnings and ends of things so I can see where things match up. Whenever some sort of an element starts, I like to see where it ends. So rather than having the /dl just as tacked on the end of a line, I made it its own line so that when I go up I can match up this DL with the /dl down here, and I know, oh, those two go together. I'm going to need to repeat the same kind of process here with this unordered list, which has a bunch of P's instead of the closing li tags. And I reformat it. There it goes. It indents it nicely. I can see what's going on. That's reasonably good. There. Looks pretty good. Alright, so now we've done that. We have apparently some naked paragraphs in there. Yeah, I think I saw them in there that need to be marked properly. There's one right here at the top. This doesn't belong. The P there after the image doesn't belong. The H1 here takes care of starting the new section anyway. I don't need a P after the H1 either here, so that's gone. But I do need one at the start of this paragraph. And then this, what was a paragraph break, needs to become a paragraph end. Same thing here. So this could need something around it. We'll deal with that later. Okay, so I do this again. I see a couple of errors there. Okay. Still getting used to the editor. Let's take a peek at the page. No crash. Looks pretty good. Okay, so now what do we have left to do? The I tags. We're going to go ahead and change them and switch them over to M tags, just because. So let's see, we have a bunch of them in here. It really is a matter of intent, and we don't know what their intent was here. Were they intending for this to show up in italics just because it was a bit of formatting, or are they expecting us when we read it to like change our voice to somehow put some inflection in it? I don't know, but I suspect it's just there to make the word stand out for emphasis. We for sure don't want it down here. I'm just going to take it out entirely. Okay. Missed one. One thing we can try is we can try doing find and replace for this kind of a thing. So I can find every case where I have an I like that and replace it with an M like that. So let's find them all. Does it find any? No, not doesn't find any. So now let's look for any cases where I might have missed it at the end of it. Good. Okay. So it looks like I got them all, except that one. Yeah, we had that last little bit with the email address down at the bottom. We don't want to have that being naked, so let's wrap a footer around that. Which is what that was intended to be anyway. Great, so now I can revalidate. Awesome. There's one last little detail that we really ought to take care of before we're done. Although in HTML5 you are allowed to have numerical attributes without quotes around them, I'm going to stick them in anyway. I don't know that we're going to be able to continue to not have them unquoted in the future. So I'm just going to pick out the ones that are there and change them. After deleting all those HR tags, there really weren't any except the ones at the top. Must have accidentally taken out my body tag. It thinks there's an open P somewhere. Let's find it. found them all. Do you see how they weren't highlighted before in green, but as soon as taking out that last P, closed all the tags? Now that the body and HTML can close properly. Very good. Save the file. View it. Here it is. Let's make sure that it works. And there we go. It passes. So now we have updated the HTML for this very old page to be HTML5 compliant, and that's the end of our session. Thank you.